Tom, today I want to talk about something many people avoid. And honestly, I avoided it too, because it sounds harsh. But the more psychology I read, the more I think it's true. You shouldn't date people you're not physically attracted to. Not because they're bad, but because the truth always catches up.
Oh, I know exactly what topic you're touching. The looks don't matter myth that makes everyone pretend they're above biology. It's almost a moral badge now, saying you don't care about looks makes you sound noble.
And yet, real life doesn't support it. Therapists say the same thing. People in long relationships admit the same thing. And honestly, our brains say the same thing. We react visually first. Attraction is like a switch. Usually yes or no. Not maybe if I squint and wait 3 months.
Right, humans are visual creatures. Even compared to other mammals, we depend heavily on sight. And people feel guilty about this, as if noticing someone's appearance makes them shallow. But it's simply biology. No shame needed.
Exactly. And what's interesting is that sociological research says leagues aren't real. So it's not about someone being too beautiful or too average. It's about your personal taste. Your eyes choose people that make sense to you, not to society.
Which means attraction is not universal. Two people can look at the same guy or girl. One thinks, wow. The other thinks, meh. That's why it's so silly to act like beauty is some objective math problem.
But here's where things become painful. Many people date someone they aren't attracted to because the person is kind, stable, funny, or emotionally supportive. They hope attraction will grow.
Ah yes, the famous give them a chance strategy, which sounds compassionate, but it often ends up hurting the very person who was given a chance.
Exactly. Therapists talk about this all the time. Couples come to counseling and one partner is deeply in love, emotionally and physically. The other partner loves the personality, but never felt real desire. And after months or years, it becomes impossible to maintain affection.
So the partner who was genuinely attracted gives everything, love, time, loyalty, and then finds out the other person was never physically drawn to them in the first place. That's a huge emotional injury.
It is. And the person who gave the chance isn't evil. They honestly hoped they could make it work. They liked the partner's kindness, humor, stability. But when physical attraction never shows up, frustration builds. Sometimes cheating happens. Sometimes the relationship simply dies. Either way, one person gets hurt badly.
This is why honesty matters. Be honest with yourself first. If you don't feel desire early, not fireworks and not obsession, just baseline yes, then the relationship is built on hope instead of truth.
And hope is not a foundation, not for romance.
And ironically, people often say, but what if I stay single forever? So they settle.
But settling is the thing that often leads to heartbreak later. And humans rarely end up alone forever. Attraction is rare. But mutual attraction, that's the normal miracle of relationships. It happens for almost everyone eventually.
I love that. Relationships are statistical anomalies. They are. Two people liking each other at the same time. That's a cosmic accident, not a formula.
And people think average or below average people will have worse chances. But that's wrong. Average people get married every day. Average people find deep love. The key isn't being conventionally attractive. The key is being attractive to someone.
Exactly. I've seen unconventionally looking people who were stunning to me, and conventionally good-looking people who felt empty and unattractive. You just know what you like when you see it.
But here's the nuance. Some people do become more attractive as we get to know them. Personality can add layers.
Yes, but only if a baseline attraction was already present. If it starts at 0, it almost never grows into a real yes. And that's what many people misunderstand.
True. And then there's the famous argument, what if your partner gets into an accident and looks different? That's about love, history, loyalty, not initial dating choices. Long-term love is built over years, not first dates.
I agree. Staying after tragedy is different from choosing someone you already feel no attraction for. Those are two separate moral universes.
You know what else is interesting? A lot of women share stories like, I didn't find my husband attractive at first, but I fell in love with his personality. While many men comment, yes, looks matter, don't lie about it.
It's a stereotype, but often true. Men tend to admit physical attraction openly. Women sometimes talk themselves into liking someone because they value emotional qualities so much. But biology doesn't care about our social expectations.
And then, after a year or two, the same pattern appears. The woman grows more attached, but still feels no real spark and feels guilty. And the man, who thought everything was perfect, gets hurt when she pulls away.
That's heartbreaking. One-sided attraction disguised as giving a chance is like planting a seed in concrete. Nothing grows, no matter how much water you pour.
And the saddest part is that both people usually acted with good intentions. One wanted love, the other wanted to love, but they chose the wrong starting point.
So what's the solution?
Simple, but difficult. Only date people you're actually attracted to, not obsessed with, not infatuated with, just genuinely drawn to.
And also, don't shame others for having preferences. Attraction isn't a moral flaw.
Right, and don't shame yourself either. You don't control your instincts, but you do control your honesty and your choices.
And if someone rejects you, it's just biology, not a judgment of your worth.
Yes, and if you reject someone, do it kindly, but do it early. You're saving them from years of emotional pain.
So the moral of part 1?
Honesty in dating prevents heartbreak later. Pretending attraction doesn't matter is the real problem.
So Anna, after everything we discussed, I keep thinking about how many people sabotage their own dating life because they're afraid to admit a basic truth. Looks matter, but not in the shallow way people imagine.
Exactly. It's not about chasing the most beautiful person in the room. It's about recognizing your own chemistry. That yes, your body gives before your mind creates a story. And I think if more people listened to that simple yes or no, fewer relationships would end in confusion and pain.
And it also stops people from forcing themselves to feel something they don't. You can't manufacture desire. You can't negotiate it with yourself. You can't say, I don't feel attracted now, but I will later if I try hard enough.
Attraction doesn't work like a slow cooker. It's instant, or at least present from the start. And when people ignore that natural response, it leads to resentment.
You know what else? People underestimate how painful it is for the person who is chosen out of kindness. Imagine thinking your partner loves all of you, only to find out later that they love the idea of you more than they loved you.
Yes, it's almost like emotional betrayal. Unintentional, but still painful. Because the partner who was, quote, given a chance, gave their whole heart. They entered with hope. They believed they were desired. They built a future around that belief.
And then the truth comes out. You were my safe choice, not my desired choice.
That sentence alone can haunt a person for years. It destroys confidence because it rewrites the entire relationship in their mind. Suddenly, every kiss, every compliment, every intimate moment feels false, even if the partner meant well at the time.
Which is why honesty in dating is not cruelty. It's compassion. Kindness is not keeping someone in a relationship built on half attraction. Kindness is letting them find someone who will desire them fully.
And what I find fascinating is that attraction is not logical. You can be attracted to someone who's average, someone unconventional, someone unique, but you can't force yourself to want someone just because they're kind.
Right. And ironically, people think saying looks matter is rude. But what's truly rude is pretending looks don't matter and then hurting someone years later because your feelings never aligned.
Yes, that's the true moral conflict. People hide behind moral language. I shouldn't care about looks. That makes me shallow. But when they deny reality, they create deeper wounds.
And many people worry, if I only date people I'm attracted to, I'll end up alone.
But being alone temporarily is better than being in a relationship that drains your soul. Also, mutual attraction is more common than people believe. Most of us are someone's type. You don't need everyone to like you. You only need one person who matches you.
And the idea of leagues causes so much unnecessary insecurity. People think, she's too attractive for me, or he's out of my league. But the science says, no, leagues don't actually exist. Humans can't even agree on what attractive objectively means.
Exactly. Attraction is more like a fingerprint. Individual, unique, impossible to standardize.
And also impossible to fake.
True. And that's why guilt doesn't belong in dating. You're not a bad person if you're not attracted to someone. You're also not a bad person if someone isn't attracted to you. It's nature, not morality.
Let me ask something more philosophical. Why do you think people lie to themselves about attraction?
I have two theories. One, fear of loneliness. People would rather feel kind of loved than risk waiting for fully loved. Two, they want to be seen as good, compassionate, not superficial. Society tells us it's shallow to care about attraction, but it's shallow to pretend biology doesn't exist.
I agree. And I think loneliness makes good people make bad choices. They settle. They confuse safety for passion. They choose comfort instead of truth. And later, when the truth breaks through, the cost is high for both people.
Which leads to another important point. A relationship needs two boxes checked: emotional connection and physical attraction. Not one or the other, not kind-hearted but no spark, and not sexy but no compatibility. Both must be present.
And missing either leads to imbalance. Without physical attraction, the relationship becomes friendship with pressure. Without emotional attraction, it becomes lust without love.
Perfectly said. And many people think kindness can replace physical desire, but those are different currencies. You need both to build a healthy relationship.
Absolutely. And it's not cruel to admit that. In fact, it's the path to healthier dating.
Another thing people misunderstand is attraction isn't convention. It's not tall men only or pretty faces only. Attraction can be triggered by someone's eyes, voice, the way they move, their confidence, their vibe, something unnameable.
Yes, and many people discover they are attracted to qualities that society doesn't label perfect. Some of the most memorable relationships come from unique, imperfect, fascinating humans.
So the challenge isn't becoming perfect looking. The real challenge is understanding your own taste and being honest about it.
And not settling for a relationship where you feel only half of what you're capable of feeling.
Exactly. And it is important to reject people kindly, with dignity, respect, and honesty. Because rejection now is better than heartbreak later.
So what would you say is the final wisdom of our whole discussion?
Something like this. Attraction is not a luxury, it's a foundation. You don't control who you desire, but you control honesty. Don't lie to yourself or others. Don't date out of fear. And don't settle for a love that doesn't include desire.
That's beautiful and true. And maybe the deepest lesson is you deserve someone who wants you fully. Not just emotionally, not just physically, but completely.
Exactly. And everyone else deserves that too.
So the kindest thing we can do in dating is to tell the truth early, even when it's uncomfortable.
And trust that somewhere out there is a person whose eyes will light up when they see you, and your eyes will light up for them too.